Hello, Internet. I'm Matt.
And I'm Monster Punter.
And this is the Parallax Scrolling Podcast, where we give you our perspective on video games and the news that affects them. And Ash Banabet. I was about to go into that bare naked lady song, you know, that Ash Banabet, you know.
Oh gosh,
it's been a bit. It's been a bit. Long story short, you might have had a lot of work, but I had some family health scares again. It seems to be like a common occurrence around this time of year, but that's what's happening. So, I finally had a moment to sit down and talk video games again. So, yay.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to do today.
We is. Speaking of video games, we haven't really played a whole lot of new ones since we talked last, have we?
No, but I have finished. Actually, I started and finished the game since our last episode.
Have you?
Yeah. Astrobot.
Oh, okay. See, that's how long it's been. I'm completely out of the loop. Okay.
I didn't get to play much while in busy season, but Astrobot's not a very long game, I did get to play it.
Cool. Well, tell us your opinion of it.
I think it is a contender for Game of the Year. I don't do platformers normally, but this one has got all the charm, all the gameplay, all the imagination that you would want out of a platformer. It's executed really well. It's one of those games that came out at launch in 100% shape pretty much.
Nice.
And I think that if you like platformers at all, you need to check it out.
One thing I've heard a lot of people say is that it is a game that gives a lot of love and homage to what has made PlayStation, but at the same time is also a game that massively shills out for PlayStation. And that's not a bad thing.
I think it's one of those games that can't exist unless you, in the way it does, unless you had the history that PlayStation does. And sure, I mean, it's kind of a celebration of their games. And you have the consoles and all those things that are in there, especially from Astro's Playroom that you collect. And it's all well and good, but at the end of the day, it's still a really solid platformer. That and with just those things as trappings around it, to use an older term, I suppose. I think it's great. The last level is hard.
Should be.
Yep. And the person that was at the end of the last level, I was not expecting. I'll leave that for you to find out.
I mean, if it's anything like Astro's Playroom, was not expecting that final boss either.
Well, yeah.
That was a blast from the past. That was awesome.
Yeah. Just say that it's really enjoyable. A lot of fun.
Cool.
I enjoyed it.
Cool. Well, I've spent a lot of time working on Unicorn Overlord some more. I am almost done with my third continent out of 5. So that'll be cool.
The
Hopefully.
Elven area.
Yeah. I'm working with elves right now. And elves are okay. You know, they're kind of cool. They're different enough. But I'm really looking forward to finishing this story and understanding more what's going on, if anything.
Yeah.
So beyond that, I've been playing when I can. Been trying to work my card game shop. Some more, and it's getting grindy, but it also makes sense why it's grindy. Because I need more levels to expand my store further, and I can't do that until people buy enough garbage. But I mean, I'm selling like plastic, those packs of plastic card sleeves for $2, and people are just buying them. But it's like, it's just kind of funny. Like, keep buying those and not the super expensive stuff around the store. I don't need you to give me any more money because that would be bad. Sarcasm included.
What can you do?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a nice, relaxing game, and they're constantly updating it. I've gone through 3 updates since we last talked about it, which has been very impressive. So I'm excited for more. You know.
Good.
Yeah. So, comments. We got to catch up on our comments. It's been a while, right?
Yep.
There's another song. It's been a while. Right.
Oh gosh.
Sorry. I got to get there. So let's get this first one out of the way. This one's from that one dude. Thanks for the detailed answer with the PS5 Pro question.
Yeah.
Also, I look forward to the top Dreamcast game list.
Okay.
So do us.
Yes.
We're gonna do that.
We need to do that.
Yeah, we totally need to do that. We didn't forget or anything. Yeah, no. Actually, we didn't forget anything. We're just really busy. So yeah, do you want to respond to him?
Oh, of course. Yeah, the PS5 Pro. Since I plan to eventually have one, definitely looked into it quite a bit. Learned a lot about it.
Yeah, and it was very good. And I'm hoping other people appreciate all that technical info too, because they're gonna need it if they want to make that decision if they're gonna get it or not.
Yeah. Again, I understand why people feel the way they do about it. I really do. Mm-hmm. I don't blame you for feeling like it's a waste of money. And for most people, it is. But I think I want to get it.
Okay, we got two more comments here. Both of them are from Dragon Knight.
All right.
So, first one, I'm looking forward to Lunar and Legacy of Kain.
Yes.
The Evercade has Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, and Soul Reaver on its console. We are very aware.
Yes.
And we are very excited. So yeah, no, we're right on that with you. And then your second comment refers to we were talking about expensive cards and gaming.
Yeah.
Because in the card game shop, I have some pretty expensive cards, probably the most expensive in the game at the moment. And so this is what he responded with. In Magic the Gathering, the rapper Post Malone has a $2 million card from the Lord of the Rings set. Listen, Dragon, don't steal my thunder, all right? My card is worth $15,000. It's the most expensive card in the game. Don't take this from me. All right?
I approve, Dragon. Put him down.
No, shut up. Well, thank you for your comments. We appreciate you. Anyhow, any other comments, any questions you guys have, please let us know in the comments down below. And while we're at it, let's appease the almighty algorithm lord and likes, comments, subscribe, bells, whistles, whatever else they have require you to do anymore. I don't know. Are they taking blood samples at this point? I don't know.
The only way to appease the algorithm lord is by clicking on thumbs up and subscribe.
Yeah. Well, and of course, watching every single podcast we've ever made from beginning to end every time we release one. Because that way, then we just get all those views, and that appeases that. It likes numbers.
Numbers.
It is a math monster. That's what it is. So, anyhow, we have news. I have two interconnected news stories that are kind of big. One that I think we both just think is super cool. But do you have any other news stories? You want to do that one?
So, in things that are useless in 2024, Nintendo has decided that a good idea would be to come out with alarm clocks. I don't know why. Now, if this came out in the 90s, totally get it.
Oh, yeah.
Totally get it.
Dude, I would have had 3 of them.
Yeah. Now, everybody just uses their phone. This would be better as an app. It would be better as an app. You go buy it for a few dollars, and you buy each one, and you don't have to buy an actual alarm clock.
All right.
Anyway.
So what the main subject of the story is that Nintendo is coming out with alarm clocks that are based off of video games. So Super Mario, one will have the Super Mario sounds. The first one's coming out is Star Fox 64. So that's the only thing that'd be cool is a Star Fox alarm clock that when I wake up in the morning, the alarm goes off and says, "Do a barrel roll." That'd be because then I would do a barrel roll out of bed and hit the floor, and that would be funny. It would hurt after a while, but it'd be funny.
People like listening to my rants with no context, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Just saying.
Anyways, the whole point being is that, yes, it is completely unnecessary for them to make this. It is something you'd only buy if you're trying to, I don't know, be unique and different. So. your next one. Do you want to do that one?
Well,
cover that one.
Speaking of things that are going away instead of should going away. 12,000 coming from Kotaku. 12,000 fake Nintendo and Sega consoles to be destroyed in major retro gaming bust. So there's this vintage gaming trafficking ring that was busted up in Italy, and the authorities say that 12,000 counterfeit copies of the Atari 2600, SNES, and Sega Genesis are being destroyed. I think these are more like just those things that you see on various websites, Facebook, X, other things like that, where you have the little console, but it's really just an emulation box that has a ton of games in it. But these shells look like old game consoles.
Right. I think in this case, I kind of understand why they did it, because they're housing all the games, pirated games. If it was just hey, here's a fake Super Nintendo that can play Super Nintendo cartridges, I don't think anyone would have had a problem.
Well, Nintendo
aside from Nintendo.
I mean, technically speaking, they own the rights to the name and look of the Super Nintendo. That's why, even these game what was the game companies that make the FPGA games? They can't really call them like a Super Nintendo or anything, even though that's basically what they've made. But, I think at the end of the day, this kind of emulation, I don't know how I exactly feel about it, other than to say these people are kind of just trying to sell something off the backs of what other people have made. So I don't really feel good about that. So I think this is fine. I mean, I think going and getting emulators and playing them and things like that online, I'm not necessarily against that anymore because of game preservation. At one point I was, but this one I can get behind a little bit, at least.
Yeah. Well, in terms of game preservation and keeping things alive and just arguing about, we were talking about piracy and trying to keep things going. There's been a new development in the purchases of digital gaming, and I think that has a definite, impact. So, California, just this past week actually, signed in a law, AB 2426. You can find this information on Polygon, The Verge. There's a bunch of other places have covered this story. But basically, they've signed a bill into law that says any digital game purchases must be required, at least in the state, to tell you that you're not buying the game. You are purchasing the license for the game.
Yeah.
So that you do not actually own the product. And that coincides with my other story, because Steam got ahead of this whole fallout before it becomes like a big event, and they're now posting that on at least the desktop app that when you're buying a game from Steam, you are buying a license. And that's a big deal, because that's just something we need to address. That, people for decades have been buying games off of Steam, have been buying games off of, online stores.
Yep. And
now we're being told that they're not yours. We kind of knew that, but just the fact that they're now finally coming out with that information, it just feels there's a sour note to it all. Like, yeah, you're getting to buy this, you're getting to buy the license for this game, but now I don't actually own it. It's not mine. It'll never be mine unless I buy it physically from someone else. So then why am I buying it from you?
Well, I mean, Steam is a popular platform. People seem to really like it. At this particular point in time, I was just looking at Metaphor ReFantasio. It still says I buy it on Steam if I buy it.
There are some people who are already noting, it says on the right side of the screen that there's a license that you're buying, not
Yeah, they're gonna make it as inconspicuous as
For
possible.
now,
yeah. These companies are gonna do the bare minimum to comply with the law. They're not gonna put. It's still gonna say buy, but it's gonna say license way off somewhere small in fine print where people don't see it.
Yeah, which is why the fine print is such a nasty tactic. It's been that forever.
And I just, again, at the end of the day, you're buying a license. If you do something that's outside their terms of service and you lose your account, some people say, well, you deserve it. You violated their terms of service. Okay, but what if you were innocent, or someone hijacked your account and did something, or other things like that ends up you lose your account, and now you've lost all your games because you bought licenses, not the actual games. There's just so many problems with licensing in general now.
Yeah,
and that's.
I mean, it's kind of the point of, if that's the way it's going to be. I don't know how to do this with PC gaming yet, but there's got to be an answer for it. But as far as console gaming, if you're not sure about a game now, don't even bother trying to check out a demo or anything. Just go to your local library once the game releases and check it out there.
Yeah.
Because you know how much that costs you? Nothing. Because it's a library. It's a government-funded place to check out books and media.
Yep.
And if this is how business owners want to behave and run their businesses, then they really shouldn't deserve your business.
I just think people should utilize the library more often in general.
Oh, library is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad to see that California is at least taking the first step and saying, no. We're tired of your nonsense. We're calling you out into the light. We're dragging this information out.
It's nice to see somebody out there doing some form of consumer protection. This is like the bare minimum, I would say, that you would do in consumer protection. But I think it at least is good. And as far as like PC gamers are concerned, I think you should buy your games from GOG if they're available.
GOG is actually not going to be affected by this law.
No.
Because everything's DRM free. You buy it, you own it.
Well, there's plenty of Steam games with no DRM, but you're actually buying the game. You get to back it up and do what you want with it from GOG.
Yeah. So, yeah, go GOG.
Yeah.
Go GOG or go to the library.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not how the phrase goes.
If you're a console gamer,
close enough.
Console gamers can go to the library. Yeah. PC gamers go to GOG.
Or do both. Find a way to do both. Because this is ridiculous. These people are getting too big for their britches.
Yep.
Yeah. But, it's not too big for their britches.
Oh, boy.
The lovely modders, the modding community. And not just of modding a video game. But, man, some people are doing some of the coolest stuff. Somebody has found a way to add a wireless controller support unit into an old Nintendo Entertainment System, because there is a spot on there for an expansion port that was never used.
In fact, Nintendo covered it up in later consoles. It's for the disc Famicom Disk System.
Yep.
That's what it was for.
Yep. And since they didn't want to bring that over stateside, we never saw it.
Yeah, we never saw it. And you know what? Don't underestimate the homebrew community. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, my hat's off to you. Being able to have an actual Nintendo that supports wireless controllers, that's so cool.
Well, now, granted, there are wireless controllers at the time the Nintendo came out, but they're infrared. And you know how bad those things are? Those things are trash.
Yeah, should we talk about the glove?
Oh, gosh.
It's so bad. Sorry, that was an old movie reference.
Yeah, but you still had to plug that in.
Yeah.
Either way, the first wireless controllers were infrared controllers, like your remotes for your TV were once upon a time, and just like that technology for the TV, it worked because you only had to push a couple buttons for the TV occasionally.
Yeah.
For gaming, it is just, if you weren't aiming it at the system just right, you weren't doing anything.
Right.
And it was terrible. So. And granted, there's modules I think you can buy now that are like like 8-bit DOE controllers you could plug in, and it's wireless like you would normally do. But for someone to use the expansion port and get that all going, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's just fantastic news. So hats off to people who are actually doing things to care about the video game community.
Yep.
Like, good job, all of you.
Yep.
Whether you're a legislator or a homebrew mastermind, thank you.
Yep.
All right. One last story?
Or possibly two.
Okay.
I just something a little fun.
We need to talk about this. This is like this is big, epic news.
Oh, big news.
It's I mean, just look at the guy.
Super huge. I mean, so big, so big.
So big. Sorry.
Apparently, the first boss of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is just destroying everybody. The Great Ape Vegeta is apparently a wall that people are finding it hard to overcome.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I love it. The first off, the character concept is awesome. That's something that doesn't really get touched on in most Dragon Ball games. But then just looking at all the memes people are making based off of their experiences with the fight, it is so awesome.
Yep, go check some of those out. They're really cool.
Yeah, a lot of them you're going to find on X, but I'm sure you don't even have to go to X to find most of them. You can just like go on whatever. There's some awesome memes. Yeah. My favorite one is taking the scene from Dragon Ball Z where Majin Buu is just beating the tar out of Gohan, just slap, 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 slap. Yeah, it's great.
I personally like the Bleach one because it was when Ichigo goes up against Aizen and it's like got the music going and you think he's gonna kick butt because the music is going and stuff is gonna happen, and then Aizen just stops everything with a index finger and wrecks him, and the music stops instantly. That's a good one. I like it.
But yeah, so if you're playing Sparking Zero and you manage to get past the Great Ape, could you share that information with us in the comments down below? We would love to hear it, and we would love to celebrate you. Oh, mighty ape fighter.
Speed run the Great Ape.
Speed run him.
That's going to be a thing.
Yeah,
Mark my words.
It's going to be great.
All right, then just really quick. It's that time of the year. We're getting close to the end of it. Game of the year contenders are starting to get talked about.
Yeah.
Over here on Polygon, they have a Game of the Year front runner list.
Okay.
And
let's take a look at it.
Just real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on each one of these.
Huh. One
of them is Astrobot.
I agree. I haven't played it yet, but from what I've been hearing about the game, it just sounds like it's definitely...
It is worthy.
Okay.
It is worthy. And I don't play platformers. It is worthy.
Okay.
Metaphor ReFantazio. I've heard that this game has been getting really big news and reception and all that kind of stuff. I will have more on that next time we do an episode, considering I'm trying to start it.
Yeah.
Just quick aside, I guess. I tried playing Shin Megami Tensei 5. I think I'm done with it, at least for now. I couldn't get into it. The whole wasteland thing, I've never been a fan of that kind of look and
you would
feel.
Hate the Mad Max.
There's a reason I haven't watched any of the Mad Max stuff. I don't, it's never interested
This was
me.
Awesome. I get it though. It though.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the next one, and I'm
that.
still in the middle of that. It's so long if you want to do everything. I think it's too ambitious to really, at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. They put too much into it. It's really good. All of it's good. It's just too much. I wanted it to be a bit more story focused.
Gotcha.
But still good. I plan to complete it when I get my PS5 Pro and go from there.
Okay.
There's this game called Baltro. It looks like a
Balatro.
card.
It
Balatro.
is a roguelike deck building game.
See,
people have loved this game. I've heard people talk so much about this one. I haven't touched it, but it just doesn't look like it's my thing. But that doesn't mean it's not amazing.
If I get a chance to play it at some point, I can understand.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I've heard that it is fun.
I watched a clip of somebody who's like, okay, so in this section, we got to sneak past all these guards. So what we're going to do is we're going to run full force, and every time they try to get behind us, we're going to summon a table and get in their way, and we're just going to keep moving. We're just going to keep moving. It's just like, okay.
All right, then.
Yeah.
I guess it's deserving to be on the list.
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2. I've heard some interesting things about that one, but
It's just the remake, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. That's the kind of horror I've never really been into. I'm not a huge horror guy. I mean, I do horror stuff with some friends who like horror, and I'll go to things.
We play horror games in a group because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
we laugh at the silliness. But I also, on the side, I will play some horror games on my own. Like, for example, even Lincoln put I played through the first chapter of Faith, which was really, really cool, really scary. It's a really great series, but yeah. So I can see this one being on there. But.
All right. Then there are some dark horses that they talk about here.
Okay.
Dragon's Dogma 2. I don't think it stands a chance of winning game.
I mean, I don't think they're dark horses as much as they're like
fringe.
Yeah, I just, like.
I think Helldivers 2 is worthy, to be honest with you.
I was gonna say Helldivers 2 should be up on that main forerunner list.
A lot of people like Animal Well. We'll see what happens there. I think if that's gonna win anything, it'd be more like an indie award.
Yeah, we'll see.
UFO 50 is not something I've heard of until this article, but it looks like an old school RPG of sorts.
Actually, I don't think that's. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's a compilation of 50 Imagine 1980s games. So that's just one of them. It looks cool.
Yeah. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Yeah.
Gonna try that eventually. Black Myth Wukong is as big a game as that one was.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're calling that one a dark horse, but yeah.
Yeah. And then they have like some other games where they have like
Satisfactory, the Plucky Squire. Okay. I want to talk about that for real quick. My brother played through the Plucky Squire.
Okay.
First off, he was not aware that it's a straight linear game.
Okay.
Because it doesn't really look like it. It doesn't make itself out to be that.
I'm not necessarily opposed to that myself.
Right, I'm not either. And he seemed okay with it. But he was just like, I wasn't expecting that. But he says the game is so glitchy and so buggy. And they're constantly patching it. He's just like, it wasn't worth playing right away. He says there's an NPC who sells you things who is not appearing in the game.
Oh, fun.
And they sell some of the most important stuff for you to get all the achievements. So if you're trying to do all the achievements, don't play the Plucky Squire. It's not worth your time. Hades 2, it's early access, so I could not put it on the list personally. Prince of Persia, didn't get to play that one yet. And then Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Here's my major issue, and this happens every year when it's like, oh, time for the game of the year, time for the movie of the year. It's always the stuff that comes out at the end of the year. Hardly do people sit there and talk about stuff that happened in the beginning of the year because they don't think it lasts good enough. The reason is that you've been flooded and inundated with so many games. The only one on here that's really different is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That one, I would say yes. I don't know when Balatro
came out a little bit earlier, but most of these games have come out within the past 2 months.
Well, Helldivers 2 as well, and Animal Well came out a little while ago. Dragon's Dogma 2 was like March.
Yeah, but again, these are the dark horses. I'm talking about their forerunners. Everyone's like, oh, these are the ones that are going to win. It's because it's recency bias.
Sure.
It's all recency bias.
Sure.
And that's why I hate these game of the year stupid things. That's why, like, we need to do our own.
We could do our own game of the year. Of course,
I think we should. But
I think we've done it before, even.
Well, we've talked about what we would have had on the list of games from Game of the Year.
Oh, okay.
But I think we need to do our own. Like, no, this Game of the Year.
Okay.
Like, we should do something like that.
And the right answer is Junior Pac-Man every year. Okay, that's not really my pick. I do like Junior Pac-Man, but yeah.
It's at this point of the podcast that we're going to leave. We've just got we've already exhausted all our humor because we're reaching Junior Pac-Man again. So
that is a level that is beyond attainment usually.
That's fine.
That is so high, such a far reach.
However, I will end with this. Hopefully, we'll record again before it comes out. But Sonic X Shadow Generations will be coming out on the 25th. Yeah. And if you have not yet, go to the Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube page. There are 3 animated shorts that kind of lead up to the game. They're awesome. Really? They're really cool. I watched them last night. They're so awesome. And there might be another one before the game gets released. So, but it's all like, it all ramps up and tells the story of how things are going up till now. So, and know that the Shadow part of Shadow Generations is a completely different game. So you're going to get a remastered Sonic Generations, and then you're going to have Shadow Generations, which is supposed to take place concurrently with Sonic Generations.
Okay, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. All right. If you got anything else you want to share with us, like I said before, tell us in the comments down below. We do enjoy talking to you, through you, about you, when you're not listening. Oh wait, no, that's different. No, we like you guys. We appreciate everything you do. So, yeah. Have an awesome week. Have an awesome time playing your video games. We'll see you all in the next one.
Take care.
Later.